right. Well, it's another Wednesday. That means more Vidya. You want to play Vidya? Rogan, do you want to play Vidya? Oh, I clicked on the wrong tab. Rogan, how's it going?
Sorry. Yeah, it's going all right. Sorry, I had to deal with something. Yeah, it's going good. How have you been?
Oh, pretty good. See Eric and Ando's in chat. How's it going, guys? So, just so everyone knows, you know, so we're playing this game and we're trying to kind of figure out what sort of messaging the game has to provide. You know, there's a lot of stuff about transhumanism and there's like feminism aspects in here. But, you know, it's not like super forthcoming. We haven't had a real great chance to like sit down with a character, like, you know, a big bad guy who's like, well, here's how the world works. And then, you know, he argues for his evil plan or something and his ideology. And you're like, but don't you see it's wrong? And he's like, no, I have my... And then he's got some big, you know, thing about it. That hasn't happened.
And it might not. It might not happen. I mean, it's like, yeah, like some of these pieces of media, they're really a snapshot or a reflection of like what's sort of going on in an aggregate sense. And, you know, in this case, like a science fiction popular psyche.
Yeah,
and
well, a lot of games, instead of providing narrative, it's really just setting, right? It's like transhumanism as a setting, not as like an ideological narrative element. I was hoping this game would have more of that. How's it going, Koza and Jack?
I was also going to say that, you know, regardless of whether or not this game has an explicit agenda, just the mere setting of transhumanism being put into the popular imagination over and over and over and over again, that's going to have some kind of effect of normalization. So, the fact that this is quote-unquote popular and people are engaging with this sort of setting over and over and over again, it will have some kind of effect in terms of normalizing the acceptance of it as, you know, arguably inevitable in a lot of people's minds. I'm not going to say everybody's going to think that way, but I think that if you were to, over time, if you could somehow create a series of studies where you could test two different groups of people, and one group was exposed to this types of transhumanism media over and over and over again, and one group wasn't, I feel like, you know, the group that was exposed would probably be more amenable to transhumanist-like changes in their society, even if initially, you know, they were they had hostile attitudes toward it, just because they would be
divergent from the other group, right?
Right.
If both groups started the same, they'd be divergent ultimately at the end. What's going on here, fellas? Well, one of the things I want to say was, regardless of how much this game goes on in terms of telling us about... Where am I now? Regardless of how this game goes in terms of telling us about certain ideas and all that, I am planning to do some sort of stream, not playing video games, where we talk about technology. And like, are you ready? I want to have a stream where we explicitly sort of say, technology, is it good or bad? Like, and that's the basic premise.
Jensen, I was on my way out.
What are you doing here, Malik? I told you, I got this one.
I know, I didn't do anything. Trust me, Van Bruggen's all yours.
Hang on a second. Something's wrong. What is it? Why are you here?
It's nothing. I mean, can't a girl have secrets?
Oh my god. I can...
We're gonna lecture what we're gonna mansplain to her.
So we can have concern, lecture, or tease. Let me activating pheromones. Okay, activated. I can... Well, and I'm a little bit unsure about how I'm supposed to interpret this in personality type data. So obviously when we first started talking to her, it showed omega traits, and then later on it showed beta, and now it shows nothing, right? So if appease is good for alphas and charm is good for betas and pressure is good for omegas, so what is she?
Well, something else that just popped in my head here before you continue. with the game. I don't think this game ever really criticizes this use of pheromones and manipulation on your friends. I mean, this woman at bare minimum, she's not your friend, she's your colleague.
Yeah.
And I think most people would be like really offended if they found out that their colleague or their friend used this type of technology to manipulate them.
Yeah, they'd probably say
And,
something like, I thought we were friends. I mean, I
Right.
knew you were, a big badass cop guy doing security and doing it on other people, but you did it on me? Son of a bitch.
Yeah, and I don't think this game ever really critiques the use of this technology on your peers or your friends. Like it's just kind of there, and thereby it just kind of normalizes the idea of doing that. Like it's acceptable. Like
Yeah.
you can totally do that.
Right, there's no consequence for it. Like if you did it and then the game was really harshly shaming you, which we see games can shame you for your action. Games can give you an option to do an action, then shame you for it afterwards. We saw
Do it
that
all the
in
time.
Disco Elysium, right? So again, it's not clear to me what I should be doing. I feel like my social chip, it's supposed to be the special social chip for making me understand how to manipulate people, and the UI sucks. Like, I don't get it. So I guess I'm gonna try Charm, because I believe Omega was at the beginning and then Beta showed up later. So Beta was the most recent reading I got, so I'll use whatever the most recent reading was.
Malik,
Jensen, if you even think of using that Casey mod on me,
Oops.
I will hit you.
I
Oh,
wouldn't dream of it. I'm just concerned, that's all.
Fine, since you're so damn curious. Years ago, I used to live here, remember?
Mm-hmm.
My friend, my best friend, Evelyn. She was like a sister to me. Made living here fun. But then there was an accident. She's dead.
I'm sorry, Malik.
Wait, Jensen, let me finish. I thought I was okay with it, but I know she didn't just die. She was killed. Murdered. Her damn scumbag boyfriend did it. I know he did. I knew he was trouble right from the start, but she just wouldn't listen to me.
Malik, easy. If your friend was murdered, the police would have suspected something. They would have investigated.
That's just it. There was no investigation. They said she fell down a flight of stairs like it was some kind of freak accident. But her wounds, the way she died, they don't add up. It's right here in the damn blood spatter analysis.
Blood spatter? You've seen the police report?
Yes, a friend left a copy of it in a pod here for me to pick up. Listen, I know it sounds crazy, but I think there's been a cover-up. I just have to prove it. If I could get my hands on the autopsy report, the one that never surfaced, I know I'd get the truth. Except...
Why do I suspect I'm about to get dragged into something?
Look, Jensen, I'm sorry. I know Van Bruggen is the priority here, and I told you it was my business and I could take care of it. It's just... The more I think about it, the more I realize I'm in over my head. I'm just a pilot. I'm not a damn cop. But I need to know the truth.
Okay.
I was surprised they did that.
Yeah. Ando says, sounds like a Lifetime movie plot. What are you going to do with this autopsy report here?
This autopsy report. Once you got your hands on it, what were you planning on doing next?
I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm a pilot, not a cop. But I felt I had to do something while I had the chance. Maybe once you get the report and we know what it says, we can improvise.
So she's going to want to do other things, like kill the guy or something. So I have details, which I already looked at. I could ask for a reward. What's about? Oh, okay. Who gave you this police report? Yeah, maybe they could get you the autopsy report.
You said you've seen the police report. Who gave it to you?
An old friend who was also a good friend of Evelyn's. He used to work for the Shanghai PD. He left a copy of it along with a few other things concerning Evelyn in a pod here for me to look at. He also left some instructions on how to contact someone at LIM for the autopsy report he's convinced was intentionally buried.
Why would LIM have anything to do with Evelyn's autopsy report?
Well, if you haven't noticed, the Chinese government has been outsourcing branches of its public services for years. Bell Tower polices the streets, and nowadays LIM does more than just cosmetic surgery.
Oh, wow.
They're often contracted for special cases like Evelyn's.
And what made Evelyn's case so special, you think?
Her boyfriend, Lee. He was at the scene. He had Evelyn's blood on him and tested positive for alcohol and drugs in his system. With his rap sheet, it wasn't looking good for him. But his family, they're on a lot of boards with deep pockets and a lot of reach. They wouldn't suffer the embarrassment of having their son indicted on a suspected murder charge.
Well, and something about Chinese culture, there's a lot of nuance and importance on saving face and allowing others to save face. So you end up in situations where, like, if someone makes a mistake or does something wrong in a Chinese organization, you end up with a situation where there's, like, from our Western perspective, we'll say, like, this looks like a cover-up. This looks like the person was never publicly shown to be, the perpetrator and punished. When in reality, in China, you have a lot of this sort of like private punishment and forced resignations behind the scenes that allow people to save face, because that's one of the ways that you are a good person in China. You're a good person if you allow people to save face, even when you're potentially like firing them from their job and blacklisting them from ever working from the CCP again, right?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about Sun Tzu here and that rule that you and I have been talking about, build your enemies a golden bridge over which to retreat. And it's like, I feel like there's some of that in there and that social norm. It's like, you're better off not pushing certain issues and letting people retreat, because if you push certain issues, they're gonna, you're gonna suffer. Are going to suffer more negative consequences than if you just allow them to save face, i.e. retreat over the golden bridge.
Yeah. Hey, Nume, how's it going? Good to see you.
Why do you suspect Evelyn's boyfriend had something to do with her death?
Because he was poison, right from the start. Born into money and influence, but never once assuming responsibility for anything. I don't think he's worked an honest day in his life.
So he was a wealthy, pig-headed asshole. If that was reason enough to accuse someone of murder, half the world would be in the pen.
No, there's more to it than that. He's known for violent outbursts, domestic altercations. He nearly killed a kid over some stupid gambling feud. The problem is, his family made him untouchable, even to the police.
And Evelyn was okay with all of this?
She always tried to see the good in people, give him the benefit of the doubt. You could say that's just being naive or even stupid, but I think she was just innocent.
So naive.
Tell me about Evelyn.
She was beautiful, carefree, loved to have a good time. I met her during my internship for a private transportation and logistics firm here in Shanghai. She was a great pilot, too. Knew how to feel the currents, to push the bird just so. Too bad her talents for reading the wind didn't translate to reading guys.
How so?
She was always getting into trouble with the
murdered.
wrong crowds.
That's how.
And it always had to do with some boy. She knew I didn't like him. Her boyfriend at the time, Lee. It drove a wedge between us, and when we parted ways, it wasn't amicable.
I understand.
She was a good girl, Jensen. She deserved better.
Nume says, have you noticed that wealthy people in games are overwhelmingly portrayed in a negative way? I would say that seems accurate. I don't have any statistics on it, but it seems like it'd be accurate. And that would seem like the wealthy would seem to be a fairly safe target for most media, because most media are going to be played by people who are like average wealth, right? And it's also like, people don't like it when you punch down, but punching up, it's always so much easier, right? Okay, I'll say I'll help.
Okay, I'll help. What do you need me to do?
My lead, he works for LIM. He's a systems technician who apparently has access to their entire database. He's willing to hand over a copy of Evelyn's autopsy report.
So you want me to meet him and get the report? Is that it?
Yes, but he'll only respond to a certain phrase. Death and life have their determined appointments. To which he'll reply, riches and honors depend upon heaven.
Christ, Malik, this is starting to sound like something out of a bad spy movie.
I know. He's just trying to protect himself. I didn't pick the damn quote. So just play along and remember the line, okay? You'll find him inside the lobby of the Lower Hengsha Limb Clinic.
Does this guy have a name?
None that I know of. But he apparently goes by the handle Anonymous X. I know.
Anonymous X. Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, before I forget, everything concerning Evelyn's incident, newspaper articles, the police report, limb details, it's all inside pod 009 here in the hotel. You should read over everything if you can.
Pod 9. Got it.
I need to go. Contact me with any updates and... Thank you. I really appreciate this, Jensen.
So, I understand why I have a code word to get something from him. I'm not actually sure why he would have his own code word response phrase when he could just, you know, I don't know, give me the document. That makes sense?
It doesn't happen often, folks, but it appears that I may have to reach
Okay, wait a second. Have I got the thing on? Oh man. It's active. Oh no, now it's active. Okay. That's it's a little weird how that works.
A little counterintuitive.
Yeah. Well, it's like so here it says active and here it says inactive. This is the one that tells me the current status, and this is telling me what status I might want to change it to.
Right.
This could say inactivate, and then that would make more sense, because then this would be the action I'm taking, rather than just two opposite status. Josie wants to know about Evelyn's ethnic background. I don't know. Whatever the game developers thought might look cool at the time when they drew her, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if I would read too much into things like that in this game.
Yeah, I mean, most games, really. They're not paying attention to that sort of detail. I mean, maybe there's a way to get over up here. But one of the things that me and Krogan have seen when playing these different games is that they don't even make sure that women have women hairlines and men have men hairlines. That's what we saw a lot in, what's that game? New World, right? No, not New World.
I've seen that in a lot of games,
Halcyon?
and I think that just
What's
comes
Your
Halcyon?
game? Yeah, there's you go to the planet Halcyon or whatever. In the game you streamed.
I don't remember it.
All right. Well, whatever.
But I remember the name Halcyon. I just can't remember which game that's from and which stream you're referring to. But,
well, I mean, it took us a bunch of episodes, but the point is, these people aren't working from, like, actual human ethnies, generally, right? They're not, like... if they want to make a kind of a Melanesian character, they'll make sure to get a Melanesian voice actor, but in terms of observing Melanesians and making sure you replicate their facial and body features... no, they're not going to do that. They're just going to make them dark.
Well, it depends.
Give them the cultural clothes, right?
Yeah, sometimes sometimes it's not developmentally efficient to make independent models for a bunch of different actors. So sometimes you have to take that into consideration.
You just dye them.
There might not be, there might not be male-female hairline differences because it would cost too much in terms of efficiency to have two different models. That's not always the case, I think, as we go forward.
They might not think of it, though. That's, like, a lot of these people deny sex differences. So they don't think that, like, oh, we need to have a different hairline for men and women because it looks really weird when you give women a male hairline. Okay, Rooftop Pitfall claims another. Evelyn, a young woman in her early 20s. Oh, so Evelyn? Oh, yeah, so Josie was asking about the dead person. I don't know. We haven't seen her yet. I don't know if we'll ever see her. Evelyn Carmichael became one of the latest victims claimed by the deadly Yozao rooftops that have authorities clamoring for stricter safety regulations and zoning permits. Sources close to the victim say Evelyn had been out celebrating with her boyfriend before the incident occurred. A witness, whose identity was not released, claims she slipped and fell while descending one of the many staircases that connect the Yozao and Huigan rooftops with Pandeng Street below. Oh, man. Are you feeling immersed yet, people? Police believe alcohol or drugs may have influenced the fatal accident, but officials claim the tragedy could have been avoided entirely if laws were different. With elections just around the corner, Evelyn's death will no doubt spark a host of new debates and controversy concerning citywide safety regulations. Rooftop-related injuries and deaths have steadily risen for the last 5 years and make up over 60% of all recorded accidental fatalities each year. Wow. So, more than half of people who accidentally die do it by falling off roofs in the town. Alright.
Well, there are high suicide rates in parts of China, yes?
I
know that's probably not what they're implying, but it's just kind of...
I wouldn't, I'm not sure about suicide rates of China. I know they're high in Japan. But,
I think they are fair. I don't know if they're as high as they are in Japan, but I know, like, in some, like... Somebody might point out that this is, like, an urban myth, but, like, I'm pretty sure that a lot of, like, those, mass factories have, like, suicidal safety nets around them because workers on a fairly regular basis will jump off the top of the building to kill themselves.
The Foxconn facilities that Apple used. Or uses.
Yeah, I
well,
seriously...
the Apple workers had to sign a document promising not to kill themselves because it was having like bad publicity for Apple.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just kind of doubt that was a one-off incident with Foxconn
if
and
it was
Apple. It's probably a trend of some sorts.
If Apple is having them sign contracts, it's got to be a systemic cultural thing there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Nume says you're thinking of Outer Worlds. Yes, that was it. Zaki.
Like the only place to work around here is
Halcyon.
TYM. I don't feel like
whatever.
That was all their like promotional stuff. Like, oh, you'll be happy in Halcyon.
Want to work for that weirdo?
Or whatever.
Oh right, yeah. I do remember now. Yes. Gee. Yeah. Yeah, and all those NPCs definitely did not distinguish between male and female airline. I mean, it was bad in some cases, like, but I can't really blame that on models being different. I don't think, or like it's not like they used the same model over and over again. Like they had different meshes for different NPCs' heads.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I guess you would have to be the one right here, insofar that they probably purposefully didn't change it, or they didn't think to change it.
Mm-hmm. What's going on here? Oh my god.
You're stuck in NVIDIA. That's what's going on. You can crawl through there.
What the?
Oh, you actually can. Like a bomb. It's more like a meter reader.
Yeah, a little electric meter or whatever. So, Zaki says, I don't think he will, Zaki. American Krogan, Zaki wants to know if you're going to make a video on Disco Elysium.
No.
Well, there you go.
Sorry.
So, Josie would be interested to see if this is a white woman being murdered by a Chinese person. Because Josie kind of feels maybe that that would be sort of against the common trend in video games and narratives to show a white person as a victim to a non-white in a murder. Like, this is sort of strange to show that. If that's what happens.
It depends on the context, but it is, you definitely can see a big change in games from 2010 to 2020. And a lot of things that we see in games that came out around this time, we are not going to see in games today.
Right. There's a lot more conformity being forced among game developers than there used to be. I'm noticing, so I'm here in the limb clinic, nice clean place. Here's a limb clinic person, they're wearing their white vest. Wow.
Got a flannel shirt.
Here's Anonymous X in his flannel shirt, graphic tee, and
he's really anonymous. I
and
guess
his
that's the joke.
hashtag Chan or # Chan hat. Baseball cap.
Can't you see I'm busy? Go bother someone else.
You Death and taxes.
Nice hat.
Nice hat.
What?
I'm here for Evelyn's autopsy report. All right, I'll just do it straight.
Death and life have their determined appointments.
What? Oh, and riches and honors depend upon heaven. Very good.
Right, what now?
Shh. They have eyes and ears everywhere. Meet me outside the clinic. Turn left from the front and go down the stairs. I'll be waiting at the corner.
Oh, God. So they didn't hear what you saying that stuff right now?
Yeah, and there's not like a camera being turned on around that area to record and film, and you know.
Yeah, God. Again, I don't even know why he would have to say anything to me back. Why does he have a code phrase to say to me? I just say mine to him, and then he hands me the document.
Well, it's so you know it's him, yeah, because like you know you could have said that to the wrong person, and they
then
have
someone
no
would
idea
just
what
start
it is.
handing me documents.
Oh right, yeah. Well, yeah.
The only confirmation I need to know for that it's actually him is that he puts the documents in my hand.
But they have cameras and that have eyes and ears everywhere, so you got to go outside where there are more cameras and eyes and ears.
Near the market.
Do they have it? I wonder if they actually put any cameras here. Doesn't look like they've rendered any cameras.
Oh, he found a blind. See, you can always find a shadow to hide in.
Yeah.
Although there are loudspeakers there, so that
Find a shadow next to the Motkun.
Would you stop drawing attention to yourself and get
Camera
over
shop?
here?
Oh, electronics. Consumer electronics store.
That's what I'm saying. Like one of these stores definitely has a camera and a
Yeah,
microphone.
consumer electronics store for sure.
And they can tap into that. Hell, there's probably a camera and a microphone in that meter next to you on the left.
I'm relieved to know they sent a professional, at least.
That makes two of us.
Right. Well, you're not exactly what I was expecting. I was told I would be meeting a girl. How do I know you're not an imposter or some sort of double agent?
Did you just assume
Don't think
my
I don't
gender?
know this could all just be an
Yeah.
elaborate trap to set me up.
Look, no offense, Mr. X, or whatever your name is, but I really don't have time for this. So if you could simply just give me what I came for, I'll be on my way.
Yes, yes. I have it right here. Evelyn Carmichael's autopsy report. Here, take it.
Thank you.
I trust you will put this information to good use, because accountability and justice is at an all-time low, I'm afraid. It pains me to see this once great city, which stood as a bastion for reform and progress against our oppressive communist origins, succumb to the trappings of corporate bureaucracy and petty corruption. Corruption so often typical of your Western governments.
Whatever you
did
say.
this.
Now, if you don't mind, I really must be going.
Well, there is still the matter of my payment. 1,000 credits was the agreed upon price, I believe. Isn't that right?
Activate pheromones.
Refuse. Screw him. Corruption. He's selling. No, screw
It
him.
is interesting that he's saying, well, it's rough that we have to get rid of this communism stuff. It's all because of your Western influence. It's like, okay. So we're the communists. We're the ones who did this deal. Okay. What were you just saying about corruption? If you say pay, I don't. It's interesting because that line looks like a refusal line, right? What were you just saying about corruption? Doesn't sound like here's your money. It sounds like,
Yeah, why can't I say that when I refuse?
yeah, little piece of advice.
Maybe he's gonna say something along the same lines.
A little piece of advice. When attempting to extort money from someone, don't give them what they want before trying to rip them off.
What? What? You mean you aren't going to pay? But I risked everything to get you that file.
Chalk it up to a learning experience and move on.
You scoundrel! You'll regret this someday. You just mock my words.
See you later, X.
That's interesting. Very
And it's time
interesting.
that we as a species stepped up to make things better. Our best chance at doing this is to modify ocean temperatures through a combination of ion seeding and geothermal management.
Forgive me, Mr. Darrow, but many people believe that your Arctic Ocean installation is more risk than certainty. When will we be able to see the truth for ourselves?
As soon as the installation is complete.
If you would like to hear more of my exclusive interview with Hugh Darrow, log on to...
So, I mean, that's sort of an interesting idea. That being said, they didn't exactly explain what they're going to do to ocean temperatures or why. But they are talking about engineering different ocean temperatures or something. Which, you know, that's a thing that they could do. We could do.
It's a terrible idea, to be honest.
Ando wants me to punch him. You think that's a terrible idea? Don't you want to... I got the impression that you wanted to You wanted to, like, oh gosh. Oh, I forget the term. You wanted to make Mars habitable.
Oh, terraform.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, I
but
mean, if we're going to
not when
terraform
there's-
Mars, we got to be able to manipulate a little bit of ocean on a planet that's already livable.
Yeah, well, when you're starting with like an entire ecosystem that's already functioning, you know, I think raising or lowering the temperature of the sea even a degree is going to have like serious consequences, and you're not going to be like, even if you're doing it for a good reason, like say the oceans are, you know, warming up for some reason, and you want to cool them, like, I don't know. Yeah, you better have a really good idea of what the collateral effects are going to be. You know, you better be very confident that you understand what the unforeseen consequences, you know, I mean, because that's the thing. There's just going to be tons of unforeseen consequences.
Okay. Mental note: after extraction, remove all traces. Okay, so we've got another quote from X for no reason. He likes his quotes. Name: Evelyn Carmichael. Age: 23. Why? Oh. Why? Okay, sex F. What's the Y for? I don't know. Time of death: 22:15, so 10:15 at night. Cranial cerebral injuries: scalp contusion, linear pattern of lacerations on right side of skull. So like sliding, linear lacerations on right cerebral hemisphere. What's this? Subarachnoid and subdermal hemorrhage. Small contusions, tips of temporal lobes, abrasion of left cheek, abrasion/contusion, posterior left shoulder, abrasions of right lower back and posterior lower leg. Toxicology or toxicologic studies. Blood ethanol, none. Blood drug screen, no drugs detected. Craniopathological correlation. Cause of death of this 23-year-old female is asphyxia by seizure associated with cardiocerebral trauma and intracranial hemorrhaging. Seizure. Asphyxia by seizure. Okay. Addendum. Quantitative blood tests revealed a high-level HCG or human what's this?
Where?
Oh god.
HCG human chorionic
gonadotropin gonadotropin
Yeah.
in the subject's bloodstream. Okay, a hormone produced during the early stages of pregnancy. Oh, well. Further examination confirmed that the presence of first trimester fetal development. So it may be this is the boyfriend's version of an abortion? Killed her? That is a possibility.
Malik, I just got the autopsy report. No drugs or alcohol in Evelyn's system. And her estimated time of death doesn't fit Lee's story. She did die from a head wound, but not one that matches the evidence found at the scene.
I knew it. It couldn't have been just an accident.
There's more.
Uh-oh.
Evelyn was pregnant. Malik?
I'm here. We can't let him get away with this, Jensen. He's guilty. He has to be. Can you go to his apartment?
And do what?
Get proof. Get something. I'm sending you the coordinates. Contact me again when you're there.
Oh, God. All right. So... okay, so it's over there somewhere. So I'm going to go this way. Maybe? Yeah, probably. So Spencer says, I remember seeing a story someone wrote, I believe last year, about blocking out the sun because of global warming. Yeah, I know, it's not necessarily blocking out the sun, but, I mean, if you put things in orbit that, yeah, they block the sun, but it would be just a portion of the sun, like, you wouldn't probably actually see them, if that makes sense, because they'd be Sort of like out of focus. Well, maybe not. Like, you never, like, you know how like a plane gets smaller and smaller as it gets higher in the sky? If the plane was significantly larger, but if it was high enough, you still wouldn't see it, right? It would get smaller and smaller until you could no longer see it. But it would still be blocking out the surface, upper surface area of the plane in sunlight, right? So you can put things in the sky above you that will block sunlight, but it'll still be clearly apparent daytime to you. Just slightly dimmer. Like you could reduce the apparent sunlight in lumens or whatever by like 2% or 3%. Levin says, wouldn't it be counterproductive? How much of the green energy is in solar panels? Well, I think the idea would be to try and block out some sunlight from reaching the Earth, particularly in areas of low primary producer productivity and where there's no solar installations. So you're thinking like deep ocean. Deep ocean where algae colonies and phytoplankton is just very low. Yeah. So there's not a lot biologically or technologically using and relying on the sunlight that you're blocking. And again, you'd only block a small portion. Okay, so it's in the building here? What's this? If I hack this, are people gonna look bad at me? Aha. Ladder. But yeah, I know, like, well, so, like, I think we may have to block out some sunlight from the Earth, maybe, at some point in the future. I mean, I know Bill Gates talked about it, and a lot of people aren't a big fans of Bill Gates. So once he mentioned it, and all the news articles came out from, you know, the soy news journalists, you know, that's when a lot of our guys are now completely soured to the idea of ever doing that. Because it came from Bill Gates and the journalists, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like, I kind of get that, though. I mean, as a general rule, it's probably safe to assume in most instances that if Bill Gates and the soy journalists say something, it's probably not in your best interest, and you should probably push back against it.
Well, I get what you guys are saying, but I mean, this has been like a thing long before they ever brought it up, right? Like, this isn't part of their concoctions ultimately. This is just something that they're talking about smarter people's ideas than their own. Spencer says they wanted to block out the sun because they said sunlight was bad for the environment. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'd have to show me the source. You know? Oh, so I gotta go to this one, huh?
Why would we block out the sun, though? I mean, wouldn't that be, like, to try to solve other problems?
Right.
Like,
Solve
yeah,
other
but that
problems.
just seems like... Yeah, but why wouldn't you actually just address the other... Like, what's the rationale for blocking out the sun? Remind me.
It would be directly related to global warming. Right.
Yeah, to me that seems like just sort of ridiculous. Because there are these other things contributing to global warming.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't you just address them? Why would you block out the sun?
Well, addressing those could be significantly harder and require longer timescales, right?
Right, but let's say you scale the blocking out the sun thing. Eventually you're going to get to the point where, like, you're having a substantial impact on the photosynthesis of, like, various plant life and whatnot, and you know that's gonna, you know, then you're gonna have even more carbon dioxide because the plants can't, you know, they can't absorb it. So it just seems like it's not something you want to scale. So why would you even really start with it? Like, I don't know. Like it just doesn't even seem. It seems like a non-starter.
Well, I mean, it's to give you time for the more long-term solutions, right?
Yeah, I get. That might make sense.
Okay, Nume says the nuke virus can capture a point without detection, and stop virus stops time. Okay. You can also simultaneously fortify the points you have captured to give you more time. Oh, well, that's good to know. It says 3 attempts left. Didn't I already screw up 2 attempts? I still have 3? Well, whatever. Well, I'm nuking this one. I think if I just go and do this real quick, now it's like doable in every sense, right?
I'm gonna laugh when you fail.
Actually, I think I got it.
You got it, good.
Eric says, isn't most oxygen produced by ocean algae? So, we'd have to look at, like, the exact breakdown, but most primary producer productivity in the ocean, as far as I know, is in the, you know, the thing that everyone likes with all the colorful fish, coral reefs.
Yeah.
Not deep ocean. The primary producer activity in the deep ocean. Kind of crap. So, I've got some personal designs that I'd like to try and talk to a hydrologist about. But the basic issue...
Malik, I'm inside Lee's apartment. Doesn't look like anyone's home.
Damn. Okay, look. Lee isn't smart enough to properly cover his tracks, so look around. Maybe you can find something suspicious.
Well, let me see if I can... Real just quick. I know you guys can't see anything.
Right, quick.
Yep. I'm being super quick here.
Quick.
So... Ooh, let's, let me click on this, and then I'll do this. I want to see if I can find a map of primary producer activity. Okay. Well, let me pop this. This. And... All right, can you see my screen, Krogan?
I can.
So I need to see ocean and land at the same time, not just land. A lot of these are only of land. Okay, well, this is only the ocean, but not the land. No. Let's get a bigger map. Let me just also make sure. Uh-oh. Screen's all on the stream, or at least it was. So... Boink. So, here you have, you know, you're looking at algae and phytoplankton, right? And... like these warm colors, I guess, I'm guessing that's what those are, is where you have a lot of primary producer productivity, or you have a lot of photosynthesis happening, and in the deep ocean you don't, right? In the deep ocean,
that makes sense.
One of the problems you have with the deep ocean is you have the upper layer of water, which I'm not sure how deep that is. Like, is that 3 meters or is that 30 meters? You have this upper layer of water that gets a lot of sunlight. So it's a great place for algae, but it gets really, it's super nutrient poor, actually. You have this warm, high sunlight, nutrient poor water layer, and then underneath that, you have a colder, sunlight poor, high nutrient layer, right? And that's kind of like the story of the ocean. Lots of sunlight, and then you go down a layer, and that's where the nutrients are. So algae and phytoplankton, they need both, right? They need both the sunlight and the nutrients. And so you see phytoplankton and algae really, really bloom where those layers mix. So when you get to coastlines and there are coral reefs and rocks and just the land, you get this water current pushing around and it mixes. And you get this real big explosion in primary producer productivity. Primary producer are in an ecology, the primary producers are your photosynthesizers, right? And in the deep ocean, you get almost nothing. And you can sort of see a band here, right? So these is like the doldrums. You have your trade winds, and they sort of mix in the center and swirl, and I guess you get a little bit better producer there. But I mean, like, if you wanted to block out some sunlight, and you're like, hey, I'm to counteract things, I'm going to block out over 100 square miles, 3% of the sunlight, right? You would pick somewhere like here or here or here. You would try and avoid any solar installations, and you would of course be avoiding most photosynthesizers on the whole planet, right? And you just be like, sunlight goes down by 5% there, or whatever. But yeah, you can see these northern waters, they're not super warm, and they don't get that great a sun, at least not compared to the tropics and the like equatorial region. But the water mixes very nicely here, right? You just get a lot of nice mixing, so that nutrient dense layer of water underneath can be brought up into the higher sunlight areas, and you get nice phytoplankton and algae colonies. But if we can go back, I'd like to find a map that has both. I guess here's what it is, right? So primary production in grams of carbon per square meter per year. So we can see, here we have some really big, what are these? These are temperate rainforests in the Pacific Northwest of the United States. And so remember, I'm colorblind. But I think this is some of the same colors you see in the Northern Arctic, right? So
yeah,
they're both pretty important. You do have some pretty amazing stuff coming out of the equatorial regions. We're looking at like the Congo, Lower Central African Republic, obviously South America. But I have some, like, again, I've got some ideas. I've looked at some of the ideas people have proposed for potentially mixing layers in the deep ocean, and
that's what I was curious about. Yeah.
I didn't like their designs, and I sort of came up with some of my own designs, but I don't know if they would work. I would like to, at maybe some point, go to a university and talk to like people who work with hydrodynamics and be like, can I have an idea for like a permanent sort of water mixing installation using wave power in a current. The idea being like, let's say you point it here, you have this current that comes up the Gulf Stream. No, is that an air current? There's a water current. I think, well, whatever it is. If you put like an installation here, you might be able to get like this big strain of primary producer productivity, which might have some effect in global warming, but it also might just have a very positive effect in terms of like, wow, we can feed all these people, because primary producer activity means now everything else can come in, right? Fish, crabs, shrimp. I mean, they like it when there's phytoplankton around.
Well,
go ahead.
The problem with all that, I love the idea of being like super productive and efficient and finding ways to, increase all of that. But at the same time, it's like, is technology good?
No, yeah, I mean, I get it. I totally get that. I mean, like, it's whenever
there will be a trade-off for that. There will be a trade-off for that, is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And if somebody were
it's
to
always
get
a hidden
hold of,
trade-off too.
Well, let's say that you sold your idea off to somebody and it was successful. Like, it probably would be used to argue, well, we can have 1 billion Americans. Like Matthew Iglesias and company would just be like, yeah, I mean, totally. Look, like we can just farm the eastern water coast, and then like we can have
Malik,
1 billion.
I think I got a probable
Americans.
murder weapon.
Uh-oh.
A broken clock. The kicker is the hands line up roughly with Evelyn's TOD. Coincidence?
That's a hell of a stretch. You really think?
If Lee's as dumb as you say, maybe. We'd need lab tech analysis to confirm, but if there ever was a smoking gun, it fits. I'll keep looking. I'm sure there's more here.
I found the murder weapon. It was Lee in the bedroom with the desk clock. Looks like an air
Where does
filter.
the name Malik come from?
What name? Oh,
Malik.
M-A-L-I-K? I don't know where it comes from.
Mm-hmm.
When I hear
Arabic
it,
in
it makes me think
origin.
of malic acid. Malic acid is, I think it's M-A-L-I-C, but it's like the super sour acid. It's more sour than, what's the acid that everyone knows? Citric acid. Malic acid, you ever had, like, warheads?
I have, but I don't remember them very.
Okay. Well, they're just
well.
small, hard candies, and you'll see they're sort of white and powdery on the outside, and that's just malic acid powder. They just take a sweet candy and stick powder on it.
Yeah, Malik is Arabic.
Oh, okay.
I thought I was pretty sure it was Semitic, but
Levan says it sounded Iranian to him. Wait, what? Wait a second. I want to look back at that. His login name is Masta Playa 69. But you know, we looked at all that map, and we didn't answer Eric's question. Eric asked, "Isn't most oxygen produced by ocean algae?" I didn't actually look to see what. I'm sure you can find that somewhere. Like, I'm sure like there's like a percentage, like, oh, 70% this, 30% that. It certainly could be like 30% land, 70% land and 30% ocean or something. I'm not sure. I think that's changeable. But I don't. But as Krogan said, you know, what if Iglesias wants to?
it says
abuse-
scientists estimate that 50 to 80%
Okay,
of the oxygen, 50 to 80%.
that's a big range.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But this isn't like, this is just one thing I pulled up.
Okay. Well, let's just say 50-50. For no good reason. Huh. Interesting. Maybe I can get this for free. No, I can't. Oh, I didn't press it fast enough.
Access granted.
All right. Ando says 69 XD. Forward. Liberty in mind and body. From the Limb Clinic. Wait a second. Okay, so, hi Lee. Your father wanted me to forward this to you. It's the quarterly report concerning your family's recent investment in Limb. P.S. I'm still waiting on the financial statements from Bell Tower Associates. They are surprisingly tight-lipped when it comes to business. But then again, I'm not surprised. They are privately owned, after all. Still, considering your father's executive holdings, you'd think they'd be more forthcoming. PPS, are we still on for Friday? Winky face, XOXO, Dona. This one was... Oh, okay, this is the forwarding of the thing, the financial statement. Company reported stronger than anticipated. Quarter 427. I don't... Okay. Interesting. My son, your behavior as of late has been disgraceful. Up until now, I have done everything in my power to support and protect you, but my patience is running thin. If you do not change your embarrassing lifestyle, I will have no choice to remove you from both the company and family, meaning no more financial support or immunity. You dishonor us all with your whoremongering. Regards, Father. P.S. Your mother is well, but she is disappointed. I suggest you apologize to her. Send flowers.
Malik, it looks like Hong Sr. was upset with Hong Jr.'s behavior and threatened to cut off his inheritance if he didn't stop whoring around. Sounds like he considered Evelyn beneath the family name.
And if he knew she was pregnant, I can't believe Lee would do something like that just for money.
Speaking of money, the Hong family seems heavily invested in both Bell Tower and Lim. That could explain the cover-up and lack of a proper investigation. I'll stick around a bit. I'm sure there's still more to find.
And I think it's this. That being said, how old is this investigation? Like, she used to know this person when she lived here. This is like a months-old cold case. Am I actually going to find old messages on his answering machine that are still relevant?
Hey, Lee, baby. Can't wait to see you tonight. But I'm stuck at work. I know,
Really
I'm
quiet.
sorry. I'll make it up to you, baby. I promise. I'll meet you at the Hive, okay? Just don't get a party started without me. I want you all to myself tonight.
The Hive? I should have guessed Lee would be there. It's pretty much a second home for him.
Wait a minute, you heard that?
Sorry, Jensen. I don't like invading your privacy like this, but it's important. Plus, this gives me an idea. When you're done looking around Lee's apartment, head to the Hive. Contact me when you're there.
I'll make one last sweep to make sure I got everything.
So, once again, everything we talked about with when you augment your body, it won't be your own. She's hacked into my ears.
Yeah, right. And she got all butthurt earlier when you tried to use the pheromones on her, but now she's like hacking into your eyeballs and your ears and like, you know, but that's fine because it's important.
Yeah.
Malik, I found a baseball bat, but it looks clean. Almost like it's been washed recently.
Maybe Lee washed Evelyn's blood off of it.
That's what I'm thinking. But I'm not sure it could inflict the type of laceration she had. Okay, I think that's it. I'm heading to the Hive now. I doubt we'll find anything else in here without calling in a forensics team.
Sounds good.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
wash
make
the
myself a
baseball
sandwich
bat.
in the kitchen, and then I'll come over to the Hive.
I'm gonna wash the baseball bat, and then I'm gonna put it by the front door. I'm not gonna hide it somewhere or get rid of it, you know.
Yeah.
Just gonna wash the murder weapon.
I'd
don't think
wash,
that ends
I'd
up
wash
being
it, then
it,
throw
though.
it in the dirt, so it wasn't obvious that it was washed. Do I have to climb down now?
Again, I hate it when games switch from first to third person and all that. I think it's just weird.
Yeah. Not a big fan either. I was looking at maybe if it goes on sale or something at some point, getting that game Risk of Rain. Risk of Rain 2. It seems like would be fun. The one thing that annoys me watching it, though, it is third-person shooter, and I'm not as big of a fan of third-person shooters as first-person. And I know, like, there's one character with a sniper rifle, and you snipe in first-person, so it's this, like, zoom between third and first constantly. Nume says, spend your points, it'll make the game easier. But, I mean, I don't know what to spend them on. I've just been spending them when I needed them. I mean, should I just spend them on stuff?
No, I'd wait. You've been getting by all right here. I mean, I would wait until you encounter an obstacle.
Okay, here. What? There's a... I don't think I need to go down there. To the Hive! Well, let me look at what I can spend it on, and how much they cost, real quick. Where the hell am I? Oh, here I am. Social Enhancer. I mean, I already have it. That does nothing. Radar System. Infolink. Stealth Enhancer. Nume says, get the super strength to throw stuff at people. Is that really that useful? Is that more for the memes? cloaking system. Become invisible. Yeah, oh, stealth enhancer. I want to see people's cones of vision. Track targets? I'm buying this. I don't know if I'll buy the rest, but I'm buying that. Alright, I'm back. My favorite club. The Hive.
Malik, I'm in the Hive. What's your plan?
Find Lee and talk to him. I want you to convince him you know exactly what he did to Evelyn and why. If you can make him panic, I'm willing to bet he'll spill his guts. Just make it look like blackmail. If he's willing to pay to keep you quiet, he's basically tying his own noose. I'll listen in and record everything.
Got it.
And so I'm not going to complain about her listening in and recording everything, huh? Guess not. So, Spencer says he knows a story of an old story about a ship of a captain repaired and replaced all over time. They had all the original parts and rebuilt the ship and asked which one was really the ship. Yeah, the ship of Theseus, right? That's the one where, gosh. There's a really great there's a great joke based off of the ship of Theseus by that one juggling comedian. Oh, I forget his name.
I have no idea about any of this.
Well, the ship of Theseus is like, okay, so he's got a ship, and he has to repair some planks, and he takes those planks out, puts the new ones in, then, you know, some of the ribs of the boat has to be replaced, so he takes those out, puts some new ones in, and then the mast, and then the sails, and all this, the bowsprit, and then the rudder, and everything, and no single piece of the ship that used to be there is still there. Every component is replaced. So is it still the same ship? That's the basic
I'm familiar
question.
with the concept.
Yeah,
yeah, right. And you can apply this to all types of things. I just, for some reason, I wasn't familiar with this old Greek story.
And there's a comedian. Oh, God, I forget his name. Super funny guy. See you later, Nero. He's a juggler. I forget his name. He's got some YouTube videos. Oh, that's Lee. He gets on stage. He was juggling some weapons, including like an axe and a sword. And he said, this axe used to belong to George Washington, but I had to replace the handle and the head. There's only two components to an axe. He says it occupies the same space. Well, Lee, all alone, huh?
What you want, Chrome Boy?
Is your name Lee Hong?
Yeah, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. What's it to you?
I want to
He's
talk to you
Omega.
about Evelyn Carmichael.
Man, it's off! I already told all you narcos all there is to say.
Relax. I'm not with the police. I work private. And you could say I specialize in cases like yours.
If you ain't police, then what the fuck you want?
A simple proposition.
Back to Omega.
I have proof that shows you murdered Evelyn. And I want you to pay me 2.5 million credits to make that proof disappear.
2.5? Bullshit. You ain't got shit on me, narco. I ain't paying you shit.
I strongly suggest you reconsider.
And I strongly suggest you get the fuck out of my face. Cause unless you got your proof right here, I ain't got shit to say to you.
All right. Let's start with the police report. I know your story doesn't match up with the evidence at the scene of Evelyn's fall.
Oh yeah? And why's that?
So, okay, now it's got him pegged as Omega. I don't know why it keeps bouncing between Alpha and Omega, and Alpha was bigger, but Omega's more recent now. Wow. I'm really doing this? How do I know? Was this made obvious to me at some point? I'm just gonna say it was falsified. I know your game. Bam.
Because the police report itself was falsified. Why else would that be, if not to cover up a weak alibi?
Man, you gotta be kidding me. That's some weak ass shit right there.
Not only does the evidence not add up, but neither does your testimony. You lied about why Evelyn fell down the stairs in the first place.
Was this revealed to me at some point? Oh, crap. I didn't read the thing. Jesus. Hey, Lee, give me 1 second. I'll bear it back to, you said she was drugged.
You said Evelyn was high as a kite, drugged out of her mind when she died. But we both know this isn't true.
I barely remember what I said that night, but I know that ain't it.
Now, if the evidence doesn't fit, and your story was a lie, then how did Evelyn die on that night? Well, the answer is pretty simple, really. You killed her. But how?
You beat her over the head with a clock.
By hitting her in the head with that antique clock you keep so prominently displayed in your apartment. The lacerations on her head, the intracranial hemorrhaging, it's the perfect match.
In my apartment? How the fuck do you know what's in my apartment?
And like any good crime of passion, you needed motivation, something to fuel your violent outbursts. What did Evelyn say or do to make you murder her?
She was pregnant.
She told you she was pregnant, and you panicked. Faced with the prospect of losing your easy way of life, you struck out at her in anger.
How? That's impossible.
But now the final piece of the puzzle. Why was Evelyn's death never considered a murder investigation? Because your family, one of the wealthiest and most influential families in Shanghai, covered it up. But whose silence did they buy?
Oh. Well, it's not the police, it's gotta be Bell Tower or Lim. The fact that it wasn't investigated as a murder could have been motivated by the autopsy report. I mean, the autopsy report was buried. Okay, I'm gonna say Bell Tower.
Bell Tower. Your family's sizable investments in Bell Tower assured they would turn a blind eye to any of your run-ins with the law, no matter how serious.
Fuck this shit, man! And fuck you!
I can help you, Lee. But only for a price.
Alright, fuck! I can't believe this shit! I'll pay you, man! I'll pay you, just... What do you need from me?
Details. Let me hear your side of the story, and then we'll move on from there.
I don't know! Evelyn, that stupid bitch! She was going to ruin me. I didn't mean to kill her, okay? Evelyn wouldn't shut up about us, about the baby, so I hit her! I just wanted to make her shut her stupid mouth. But the dumb bitch started freaking out. So I hit her again until she finally stopped screaming. When I realized what I'd done, I panicked. She was barely breathing, so I carried her to the stairs near my apartment and dropped her. I had to make sure it looked like an accident. I had no choice. She trapped me. She just wanted my money. I would have been ruined.
I need to go. We'll be in contact again soon.
Huh? What about the evidence? And the money? Where the fuck you going?
Goodbye, Lee.
That's interesting. It's interesting that he said that, like, she just wanted my money. That's obviously not true. She was excited to be pregnant with your child.
Malik, please tell me you got a recording of all that.
Oh my God, Jensen, I could kiss you right now. I can't believe you got him to confess so openly like that.
To be honest, it was easier than I was expecting. You were definitely right about Lee. He's not exactly the sharpest tool in the shed.
Well, don't get too cocky just yet. Before I send our little friend's confession off to the local media and authorities, I want to get some Shanghai street justice first. There's a control panel linked to the hive I need you to hack. Uploading the coordinates now.
Why? I'm hacking stuff in the hive? Steven said, I have no choice. Am I supposed to be crouching? I don't see any visual cones. My stealth upgrade isn't worth anything. Okay. Hack. Analyzing network. Alright. Oh. Oh, this is one of those ones where I gotta capture 2 things? Oh, man.
Better use those nukes.
I got 1 nuke. Okay, so this is a one-way, and that's a one-way, and that's a one-way, and that's one way. That's a one-way. Oh, man. I wish I kind of understood a little bit better how I'm supposed to, how it would be best to approach this. Alright. Get me out of this help menu. I'm just gonna go guns blazing, maybe, sorta? Don't... Oh.
No way.
Oh.
No way.
Yeah. Okay, come on, game.
Disconnect.
Oh.
Disconnect. Disconnect.
Does that do anything?
I don't know.
Yeah, it went from attempts 3 to 2. Disconnecting doesn't... I mean, it's still screwed. If you disconnect. Okay, Gosh. Do I need more nukes and stuff? Wait a second. Let me look at my augmentations. Hacking. What's this? Turret. Disable turrets linked to security hubs.
Yep.
What? Hack level 4 terminals. So that doesn't improve my hacking, it just...
No.
So what's disabled turrets? Linked to security hubs. I don't think I've encountered any turrets yet,
no.
right?
Well... no. I think you've been in areas where there were turrets, but they didn't activate because you bypassed them.
Does turret mean a physical turret that's going to shoot my body or something in the computer?
Something physical that's going to shoot at your body.
Okay. Okay, so, Ando says use the fortify. Oh, okay. 1 point to the no. Okay. At 2 points?
Game over. You fail. All right.
I just got an achievement called Transhumanist. Fully upgrade your first augmentation of choice. It's official. I'm transhuman. According to the game. So now, I don't know exactly how this is going to help, but it should help. At some point. I'm not gonna make it.
Need to use a nuke.
Access denied.
I only have 1 nuke. I don't know if that's enough.
Yeah. Well, it is just a side mission. You don't really have to do it.
It would be a bummer to go all the way. I don't even know what she wants for Shanghai Street Justice. Does she want me to turn off the lights and beat him up or something? Is that it?
Probably.
She's like, alright, I turned off the lights, go punch him. You know, like, oh, great. So, I don't quite understand the whole hacking thing, because now it says attempts left 3. So I've done it twice, and now I'm back up to 3. Things don't make much sense. I don't quite get it.
Nuke.
I mean, I could nuke, but I haven't been close enough where I'm like, oh, I'm only 1 away, you know what I mean? I need to... Let's just try this. Okay, now let's disconnect. Let's connect again. Okay. And... I don't know.
It's gonna activate every time. Like
Why?
I think
it's only 60%. Why is it activating every time?
I don't think it matters. Bet you it activates again.
Boom.
Oh, there we go.
So there you go.
Right.
That's the equivalent of a nuke that I have achieved, and I probably still won't be able to do it. I mean, I could nuke now. So this is 60%, that's 60%. Okay. What the hell?
Oh, you might get it.
I got 2 in a row. Now I'm very likely to get it. This hacking game doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So Forrest says fortify your node. I mean, I don't know what that accomplishes or where to do it. Okay, so she wants me to disable the security
All right,
profiles.
Malik. It's hacked.
Verifying the signal. Come on, come on. Okay, I'm in. Remote frequencies are clear, thank God. Uploading now. And done. Meet me in front of the hive, Jensen. I have a little surprise for our friend Lee.
He's not at the table, or he's not at his feet.
Booth. Or, yeah, well, not booth, but couch.
Yeah. It's like a booth. All right. Meet me in front of the hive. I mean, these people are saying I need to fortify my node. I don't know. It was never really clear to me what fortification did, and I haven't done it yet. Oh, that's it.
Jensen.
Malik.
Well, first take this. I was gonna use it myself, but after everything you've done, I think you deserve it more.
So what are you gonna do now?
I have a few loose ends to tie up, and I need to make sure this autopsy report finds its way into the right hands. The Hongs aren't gonna buy their way out of this one.
Lee's confession is solid. With that and the evidence from the autopsy, there's no way he can avoid prosecution. Justice will be served.
Oh, justice will be served, all right. You might want to stick around for a second. I've got one last little surprise for our friend Lee.
Okay. Update. Face the hive exterior.
Are you facing the hive?
Yes.
It's almost showtime. In 3.
Is it gonna have
2.
embarrassing pictures of him?
Just watch.
I don't know. Evelyn, that
Yeah.
stupid bitch. She was going to ruin me. I didn't mean to kill her, okay?
Malik, remind me never to piss you off.
After everything you've done here for Evelyn, for me, you'd have to try pretty hard, mister.
She started freaking out. So I hit her again until she finally stopped screaming. When I realized what I'd done, I panicked. She was barely breathing, so I carried her to
They even have his
the stairs
blood
with my
type on there.
mom
Oh,
and
positive.
dropped her. I had to make sure it looked like an accident.
Patricia says fortification. Are we talking about elections here? Exactly. You got it's very important. You got to fortify your elections.
Good.
I don't know about hacking, but definitely fortify your elections. Okay. Well, that was a cute little side story. I mean, it didn't have anything to do with
Evelyn, that's
politics we'd like to get at, but it was interesting. Okay.
She was going to ruin me. I didn't mean to kill
Not
her,
here.
okay?
Just like in real China, nobody cares.
Ooh.
Everyone is just
Ooh.
walking around on the streets, just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it's interesting that they didn't, I guess, have any time to program, like, NPCs reacting to it. Oh, well. Really, what? Where am I? Oh. This way. I went in a circle. Okay, good. Good. Get out of my way. Jesus. Gotta get out of my way. Get out of here, Krogan. Get to the chopper. I can actually progress the main story today. maybe a little.
Maybe you'll reach, you know, day. Are we still in day 1 technically?
I would assume that it's been more than a day to get to. Now that we've flown from Detroit to China. I mean,
We
unless
don't know how fast you flew there.
I know, because I did have like a private helicopter jet thing, which you would generally not expect to have the range to take you from Detroit to China, but you know, whatever. Weird how I gotta walk through what appears to be... Oh, I don't know what this appears to be. I have to walk through here to get... I don't know, into the rest of the city or something. This is sort of an indoor-outdoor place, though.
Earth's ecosphere is in serious trouble.
Everybody here has tiny heads.
Yeah, this guy's got...
Large bodies and tiny heads.
Got a, like, really puffy Hawaiian shirt kind of thing going on. Little head.
It reminds me of, those, like, Beetlejuice.
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah. Beetlejuice, him sitting on the couch, or whatever, the little head. Patricia says he's very impressed with your Visigoth series as a historical investigation.
Thank you.
There you go.
This is Eliza Cassan reporting to you live from Picus.
There were a couple moments during that where I think I lose my composure and I am a little too edgy, but it's just because some of the material is just, you know, just leaves you in awe. Like, how can anybody say that, you know? I'm particularly thinking of the one entry in the, well...
This isn't a booty call, Van Bruggen. This is about you and some friends of yours I met in Detroit.
Detroit? Yeah, okay. I got it now. You at Seraph, right? You were there when I had to pull the plug.
So you admit it. You were running a mole.
The heck, man. Just the heck. Worst decision I ever made taking that gig. As you can obviously see.
You attack my people, Windmill. You hope to walk away from this. You tell me what you know.
Down, boy. I've got no allegiance to that backstabbing bitch who hired me. Especially after she painted a target on my back. The girl you want is Zhao Yunru, Tai Young Medical's CEO.
Tai Young Medical? They're Seraph's biggest competition.
How do you think they got that way? Zhao doesn't like competition, see? So she uses hack attacks, blackmail, extortion, anything she can do to destabilize him. No offense, but Seraph was just the latest in a long line.
You got any proof of this?
There's a surveillance recording in the Tai Young Tower. I stashed it on the server in case I ever needed an insurance policy.
Not a very smart place to hide it, seeing as you don't work there anymore.
Things got hot before I could move it. And now, I got you to get it for me. Of course, you can't just walk into that place. You're gonna need an employee card encoded with your biometrics to use the TYM shuttle.
Let me guess. You're gonna tell me where to get one.
Hey, I'm always prepared. There's a certain security guard, likes to dabble with the ladies. You'll find him at the Hung Hua Hotel top floor corner room. Sneak in, snatch the card while he's otherwise engaged, and bring it back here so I can code it with the biometrics in your passport.
I was there when you flatlined that Mo, Van Bruggen. You think I'm gonna trust you?
You have to if you want that evidence. Now run along, Seraph man. And don't get too distracted watching the action.
Interesting.
His shirt says almond in Spanish.
Oh, really?
I don't know why.
Well, he's also like,
random.
Run along, Seraph man. Run along, Seraph man. I don't know. It's a very weird vibe. But he's... So, if you remember in our first couple streams, there was a Humanity First or whatever, Humanity Front hacker guy with mods all over him. He was the guy controlling him. And so he was the guy who made that guy shoot himself in the head.
It'd be kind of cool if we could make him shoot himself in the head.
Yeah. Patricia says he studies history, and he's also encountered little nitbits of history that is not spoken about. In terms of you saying you felt like you were unprofessional about certain points or whatever.
Yeah,
he says it's not even that I am really resentful. It was all about survival back then. Social hierarchy meant survival hierarchy. So yeah, but how it was handled now, that's dishonest, and he doesn't like it.
What is that guy doing?
I don't know.
I think we need to follow him and investigate. No, he just hid there.
You guess he looks like he's scared of me.
Street danger. Yeah. Maybe he's never. Oh, he sees the ghost foreigner. What's the name? The
Guailau or whatever. Guailau.
Yeah, Guailau or
like Guali, Guailau, something like that. I mean, these other people aren't scared
because they've seen the Gual.
They've met the Gual, whatever. Where? Jesus. Let's go this way. Yeah, so like this guy's scared, those guys aren't. So like, when I meet this guy, you gonna do anything?
Oh, let's see here. For other uses, see Foreign Devil. Okay, let's look at this. Foreign Devil. Foreign Devil is a discriminatory and racist term in Hong Kong for a foreigner.
Well, it is interesting the way this game depicts you as a white man coming into a non-white area, being called racial slurs, and like, you know, it's just sort of a, you know, they know that white gamers are just going to take it on the chin, right? Like, we get called racial slurs all the time, and it's just sort of no big deal. It's only when we do the opposite. Uh-oh. But the kid's away. We're in the...
You know,
brothel.
I suspect that on some level,
Sorry, but for the service I wouldn't go upstairs if I were
people
you.
just sort of think
don't tell me.
white
Me and
people
Edgar going
can
at it again?
take it.
Yep. And you know what that means.
Yep. Edgar in a bad mood. Shame too, because he can be sweet.
He's saying?
I'm always amazed by what May gets away with.
Well, she's earned the right to talk back from time to time.
Well, am I supposed to go to the top floor? Or third floor?
Don't know. We will find out.
No, don't tell me I left my purse in there with May.
She wants me to go get her purse, doesn't she? I don't care.
Told you, I am not getting augment. Not for this.
Our customers would pay much for the services of an augmented girl. You can make a lot of money.
Then tell customers to get themselves augmented, and they can go fuck themselves.
I'm sure some already have. May, look.
No, end of talking. It's too dangerous. I'm not changing myself for someone else's pleasure.
This isn't the end of the discussion. You'll get the surgery done if you want to keep working. Think about that.
I'm not changing for someone else's pleasure, says the woman in a total get-up for their pleasure, who lives an entire lifestyle for their pleasure, and is, like, sending years of her life for her pleasure. She's on the way, like, every day you're one closer to death, right? How many days? She's been here for 3 years. It's like 1,000 days for their pleasure. How many 1,000 days do you get to live? And I'm not saying she should get the surgery. I'm just saying she's already surgically removed years of her life for their pleasure. I mean, whatever. Are you gonna watch me hack this? Wait, or is it over here? Great. Hacking again.
Well, the door's highlighted.
Is it?
Yeah, the other one is.
Oh yeah, that door is highlighted. But I'm trying to get into this one. I mean,
yeah,
maybe...
I know, but that door's highlighted. Turn right.
Wealth and glowing-eyed students and professionals walking the sparkling clean streets. Now,
look at that.
Oh, snap!
Hello?
Right, somebody's gonna see you.
Anyone in here?
You were awesome, baby.
Oh, thanks, sweetheart. Oh, hey, did I tell you?
Jensen, you got any news yet? You know I hate being left in the dark.
Yeah, I found Van Bruggen. Looks like the Tai Young Medical Corporation hired him and the mercs to destabilize us.
TYM? They already have the lion's share of the global augmentation market. Why use Van Bruggen?
In order to get that share. Hopefully I'll be able to prove it once I get this smart card back to Van Bruggen.
You need backup, let me know.
What are you useful for?
Hacking into your eyes and your ears.
Yeah. La la la. I'm just running around inside your brothel without doing anything relevant to the business. Goodbye. Okay. Hate this map. What's it say? Noise maker. Okay. Alright. Like a ad for headphones or something. I didn't shoot anyone, Ando. We're all good here today. Patricia says, funny enough, in Asian countries, often women in brothels are from another country / region, etc.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
I do know of some, like, I've never met any, because I don't go into those kind of places. So, as you know, maybe, I've been over to Japan a couple times. Love it over there. I had some Yakuza guys approach me about one of their sort of brothel things that they ran and asked if I wanted to head over with them. And I'm like, no, I'm good. But as far as I understand, some white girls go there and make quite a bit. I don't know exactly what happens in there. I don't know if it's the same as like Dubai.
Well, Dr. Pierce talked about an incident with an English girl who had gone there and done stuff like that. And she ended up murdered, and her body was dumped in a bay or something like that. And yeah, he had a whole podcast dedicated, or not podcast, but he had a whole radio broadcast dedicated to that type of thing going on in Japan.
Back. My faith in human nature is restored.
Save it. Here's the smart card and my passport. Now start encoding.
Does my passport have biometrics on it?
There you go. All shiny and bio-encoded, just like I promised.
Where do I find this recording?
On a surveillance server in the TYM tower. But that badge will only get you into the lower city factory via their employee shuttle.
And how am I supposed to get up to the tower from down here?
Never said it wouldn't require a little finesse. Look, the tricky part is getting through the Pangu. But you're a resourceful guy. I have faith in you.
Right. And after I'm through the floof?
You'll be in the upper city tower. The server you want is in the central security hub. The login and password are on this. Now, about my reward.
Young medical, man! They're here!
Well, that sounded like such a different voice. Young medical, man!
Banner! I want that hacker dead!
You gotta help me, Jensen. They're gonna kill me!
And that concerns me how?
Oh, come on, man. I helped you out. At least give me a weapon so I can defend myself.
I could give him my double barrel since you hate it.
I mean, you might be useful against those guys. I mean, I don't remember this, so... I
want him
would
dead,
give him
though.
a weapon. Oh, you do? Okay, well, decline.
Use your fists. Use your fists, Van Bruggen.
Sorry, Windmill. You're on your own.
Ah, fuck you, man!
Again, the accent seems different.
That whole sequence was just terrible.
Yeah.
He gets back in his bed and he shuts the door.
Back in the pod.
Through a combination of iron
Good little New World Order system.
Hey, what? Why are they shooting me? Just walking. I'm walking here.
Yeah, but that's why I said you should give him a weapon, because he was probably going to help defend you.
Help defend me? I think he's just going to sit in his pod
I mean,
with a weapon.
He would be a bullet sponge. He would be a bullet sponge, maybe. I mean, maybe I don't know. Maybe he would fire on them. You know.
I think he's just going to sit
Take
in his
off some of
pod
the
with one of
aggro.
my guns. And then when someone opens his door, he's just going to start blasting. Eric says there was a lot of Filipino girls near the base that he was stationed at in Japan. Interesting.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, if you look back at, if you look, very often people will.
Sorry.
They'll bring in foreign girls. I mean, just because various populations, even within a racial group, like they're just more predisposed to, because everybody views it as some kind of form of abuse to some extent, and people are more predisposed to abusing women of outgroups.
Right. Well, and I mean, if you have a local girl doing this kind of stuff, there is always the chance that, like, her brothers and fathers come down there, grab her ass out, and beat the shit out of someone, you know, cause a big problem. That's not going to happen if her family's, you know, 1,000 miles away or whatever.
Run for it. Just run.
I don't know where I'm running to.
Guy's coming. He's coming from the upper left, I think.
I don't think anyone's coming.
Yeah, there's red dots on your map, and you're dead.
I know there was red dots, but none of them came to me.
Yeah, they were about to come around the corner.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure they were up there, and they were coming around the corner in a minute.
They never came.
Yeah,
I don't know why they're. I don't even know why they're fighting.
Because you walked over to the right and got shot.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna kill everybody in the building. Like, I think they say something in the cinematics.
They said, "Look for the guy."
Shiny and.
They said, "Look for this
They
guy."
want to kill everybody in the guy. It doesn't matter. It's a game. They're gonna shoot at everybody and kill him. He's gonna hide in his pod.
I thought what was gonna happen was that they were gonna like ask me where the guy was. Like, oh, have you seen a man who meets this description? I mean, if you look around, yeah, I have like no, like.
Earth's ecosphere is in serious trouble.
This is bullshit, dude.
And it's time that we as a species stepped up to make things better.
Okay. Take a look at my augmentations. So how stealthy can I get? So I'm supposed to have displays stealth-related information such as cones of vision, last known location, allows to track and mark a target. Okay.
Our best chance at doing this is
I don't see cones of vision on anybody.
Because I don't think you have it.
No, I bought it.
Where?
This. I bought this today.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, you're right.
Geothermal management.
Okay. Maybe there's something I'm missing here. Options. Controls. Keyboard. Is there maybe a separate stealth function other than just crouching?
You could probably hit Alt F4.
Oh, yeah. God. Can activate cloak, typhoon, silent movement, smart vision. Maybe it's smart vision. Jeez. This game. Okay. Maybe it's smart vision. Okay, I pressed F3. Okay, I pressed it again. Okay. Does it look like I'm toggling between smart vision?
As soon as the installation is complete.
If you would like
No.
to hear more of my
No, it doesn't look like anything.
log on to www.pegasusweb.com. This is Eliza Cassan reporting to
This
you.
is an incredibly well-made game. I just, you know, I can see why it was so popular.
Like, what's his cone of vision right now?
It
I don't
doesn't
know.
happen often,
It's a
folks, but it
mystery.
appears that I may have to retract an earlier statement. Millionaire Hugh Darrow has contacted me personally to deny allegations of involvement in secret United Nations meetings about the augmentation.
Yeah, I just feel like I know this wasn't supposed to be a shooting game, like per se. You can probably kill him, like, yeah, there you go.
Earthseeker's fear is in serious trouble, Eliza. And it's
Yeah, I know this wasn't supposed to be like an action shooter, but just the shooting mechanics are just all of the movement mechanics are just so cumbersome.
Through a combination of ion seeding and geothermal management.
Forgive me, Mr. Darrow, but many people believe that your Arctic Ocean installation is more risk than certainty.
And the voice acting, it just really isn't that great. I mean, listening to the radio radio narration or television narration, just wait, is that a dead body next to you?
I don't think so. That was the same thing I did on the girl.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a dead body. They looted her too. Oh, another dead body.
Yeah, they're killing everybody in the building. That's, you know, no questions. They just need to.
Okay.
Their goal
Well, I didn't get that impression when they first, because they only said look for the guy. They didn't say, because why bother look for a guy if the plan is not to find the guy, but instead to kill everybody?
Look for the guy among the dead. I don't know.
That feels like a command you would give after everyone's dead.
Search every corner.
I can sneak through.
I think you can.
What's that?
What's that?
Nothing.
Hmm?
There's absolutely nothing.
Nothing yet.
Report. Where is he?
Report! Where is he?
I'm nowhere. I probably should have just gone earlier.
Keep looking. Sweep this place clean.
I want that guy to leave. Yeah, you know, it'd be really great for me to have a cone of their vision.
Keep looking. Sweep this place clean.
It's almost like I level. This guy has got to see me, right? Yes. I don't know why I leveled the stealth thing if it's not going to show me a cone of their vision. That's what the description said when I leveled it.
It's, you know, well, I mean, there's like triangles on your radar.
I think that's always been there. I don't think that's the cone of vision.
I mean, you could pretend that they're cones. I mean, they're sort of like reversed
Oh,
cones.
jeez. I bumped the box.
Yeah. Boxes are loud, man. Those boxes are like, you know, if you throw that at one of them, it'll kill them.
Yeah.
So that's what you should do. You should throw that box at somebody because it's going to kill them. And it might be stealthily. You know, it might
Well,
do so
considering
without
I just
hurting
bumped it and everyone in the
Well, you
whole
bumped
courtyard
into
heard it.
I mean,
I don't think I
what if
can
they-
throw it at people with like lethal intent. Oh,
yeah, I think
great.
you can. I think you should do it.
Nothing yet.
I think you should pick up that box and throw it.
Get the hell out of here. God, I'm good. I'm just really good at video games. Dude, the inventory system.
Yeah, you didn't give that guy the shotgun. Otherwise, you could pick up other stuff. But no, you have to have all these weapons in your inventory, even though you have no ammo for them.
I'm not giving Matumbo my shotgun.
Matumbo?
Well, Van
Is that
Bruggen.
his name, Matumbo?
No, it was Van Bruggen.
Was that guy's name Van Bruggen? Really?
Yes.
He did not look like a Dutchman. Shut the door. Don't
I
forget.
can't. This thing sucks.
There you go. He won't know now.
He
There
didn't
you
see
go.
me walk in front of the glass. He beating the door down?
Yeah, he's shooting it. Oh, wow! Oh, all right. Maybe you do need to pull out that double barrel.
Nope. Oh! I'm just gonna pile him up on that side of the door.
What a great game, dude. Just sit here. Yeah, I mean, all you gotta do is just wait. No one's gonna notice that the bodies are going from the right to the left in the doorway. No one's gonna notice that.
Come on. Get over here. Oh, they're really not gonna come over here. Oh!
Here he comes! He just needed a little encouragement.
Yeah. Oh, I don't have enough space for that either. Wait, which way am I going?
I think you were going the right way originally.
I think this is it. What's that beeping? No more beeping. Is it the showers? Okay. Oh! That was not a good beep. They got landmines in the showers. Hate it when they do. I gotta go over there? Oh, nothing. Thane wants to know what you have in the works.
Don't go in that water, you're gonna die.
Yeah, I know. Thane wants to know what you have in the works.
I'm working on a video, and I have been working on a video for over a month now about Call of Duty Vanguard, but I am essentially just using that video game as a springboard to discuss the UK race riots of 1919. It is essentially a video about the UK race riots of 1919 with some segments that tacked on about a video game. But I'll talk about the Rhineland occupation after World War I, and I will also talk about because the video game Call of Duty Vanguard brings this stuff up. It brings up the Rhineland occupation directly, and it's pertinent to talk about the UK race riots of 1919 because well, I'm not going to explain all that now, but it becomes contextually pertinent.
Really? It's on the other side of a wall. Games.
And more broadly in the video, I'll be discussing black-white relations in Britain. Mostly from 1919 up until the end of World War II, and then some other anti-white narratives that kind of surround all of that.
All right, I found my debombing tool. Oh, come on, you. The shower. Okay, I can stand up. Ho ho! That thing went far. Right. Good.
I think you should carry a box with you at all times.
There's plenty of boxes in most of the rooms. What was that noise? Someone see me? The bad guys doing laundry in here? Oh, they are. Oh my god,
This is why you needed to carry that box with you. And you could have thrown the box at them. I think you got enough rounds that you could take them out.
I saw him!
Toast! Screen went black there for a second.
Show your face.
No. I'm not showing my face.
There's like a full load of laundry in that one.
Yeah.
Still shaking around and going crazy. And... Such a high-tech world, and yet shitty laundry machines.
Dane says he can't wait to see your new video when it comes out.
Yeah, I do think it'll be worth the wait. I have scoured a lot of British newspaper archives and read a lot of like 100-page academic theses on the historical periods, and there's just a lot of like really interesting stuff that isn't really well known by a lot of people, but curiously, to the extent that it's talked about in academia, it has this very, very, very anti-white slant. And You know, the BBC has talked about some of this stuff periodically over the years, and you know, they have their whole anti-white slant on it all, and it's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, there are characters in the race riots that are on par with like Trayvon Martin and George Floyd, insofar that the academic literature will sort of highlight them as a, you know, moral, righteous figure who didn't do anything wrong, and then you go and you actually look into them, and it's like they have this absurd criminal past. Yeah, so there are, there's a lot, looking back at the UK race riots and the general things that were going on in the port cities, you get a big sense of the more things change, the more they stay the same. There's just a whole lot of, like, there's even like parallels to the modern grooming gang phenomenon. So it's crazy. It's really crazy stuff.
Patricia says he always shoots his way through this. Well, I think a lot of my early, like in the first couple sessions of me playing this game, I shot my way through everything, and some people in the comments were very upset about it.
Violence is not the answer.
They're like, it's a stealth game, Embargo, and I'm like, well,
then why did they give you an assault rifle?
Exactly. They're giving me a water arrows and a blackjack.
Malik, get Pritchard on the line.
I mean, if it's
Tell him I
supposed
need
to
everything
be
he's got
like,
on
you
the top.
can stealth, but if you're like
My young
seriously
medical
supposed
building,
to,
schematics, blueprints, everything.
That might take a while, Jensen.
Yeah, well, he's got as long as it takes for me to find this Taiyang shuttle Van Bruggen talked about and ride it to their factory. Jensen out.
Go! Now! I won't say it again!
just rush by him.
What the hell is that? What's that?
Run!
I think this is probably a bad idea.
I think it's a great idea. Get one of those bicycles. Probably make it go faster.
I don't think... Hello, officer.
Those men are chasing you. You need to stop them.
I don't know if they're... I don't think they're still chasing me, right?
I don't think you should find out. I think you should move.
I mean, the music's still going, but...
Yeah.
They're not going to gun me down in front
area.
of this guy. This is a police officer. This isn't even Bell Tower. This is not private security. This is a government employee.
If you would like to hear more of my exclusive interview with you, Daryl, log on to
Patricia says he just realized that the game is actually supposed to be stealthy and not be played like a standard shooter.
I mean, I was gonna say, everybody keeps saying that, but like, they do give you a lot of lethal weapons. Like, you are legitimately meant to have the choice of playing it more stealthily or more overtly. Like, it's not supposed to be like definitively a stealth game. Like, you can, like, it's meant for you to be able to do that, but like, when people are like, it is a stealth game and that is how you're supposed to play it, like, I mean, that's not really true.
Thane says Prey is the best Deus Ex game.
Any word from Pritchard yet?
I'm right here, Jensen, staring at a blueprint of the Taiyang Medical Building.
Great. I need access to a security terminal in the upper city tower.
You do realize there's an entire skyline between you and it, don't you?
I know. The Pangu. Any idea how I get to it?
I suggest you start by going up.
Well, thanks, Krogan. Pritchard.
Krogan Pritchard.
Yeah.
Frank Krogan.
Yeah. Thane says Prey is the best Deus Ex game since the original. I love the vibes and gameplay from Mankind Divided, but the story and protolic/SJW stuff ruined it. Yeah, this is my first time playing a Deus Ex game. So, we have another newspaper. What's this? Panchia? It looks, I don't know. It's clearly, I don't know. When I first looked at the word, I was thinking panacea, but very different word. Panacea. And the ethics of biotechnology. It goes without saying that technology is advancing at an astonishing rate. Yet even as society debates the ethical quandaries behind many scientific applications, companies like Taiyang Medical continue to push the boundaries. Quote, research into organic computational matrices has helped us envision machines capable of thinking at tremendous speeds while reacting with the judgment of humans. end quote, says Zhao Yunru, Taiyang Medical's CEO. Ambitious projects like Panchea would not have been possible without it. The greatest breakthrough of the deep ocean installation is its ability to continually monitor and adapt to shifting oceanic pressures. And the possibilities extend far beyond earthly applications. Quote, with similar extreme conditions existing outside of Earth's atmosphere, the same technology may one day be used in space, hinted Zhao with a smile. Damaged cells using nanotechnology. Oh, damaged cells repaired using nanotechnology. VersaLife announced today it has successfully repaired diseased blood cells in mice using nanorobot technology. The nanobot functions in a similar way to how natural antibodies work. Researchers hope it can eventually be used to treat people infected with AIDS. And also, I don't know if infected with AIDS is actually the correct terminology. It'd be infected with HIV and then developing AIDS. Because AIDS is like a condition based off of your white blood cell count after your infection with HIV. But, or you could use the old term. You get in big trouble for calling it grids, though. Remember that?
No, grids? No, I don't remember that at all.
So it's a term that's not accepted it's not like used in the medical literature anymore, and it's considered offensive to use it. I'm not saying anyone has it. I'm simply bringing it up for historical interest. Grids was noticed, and they noticed an immune problem in homosexual men, right? So they called it grids, which is gay-related immunodeficiency syndrome. So it's like it was killing a bunch of gay men. So that's why they said, oh, it's gay-related. Jesus Christ. What the heck's going on in here? Attempts left. 5. Oh, see, this is way easier than the ones I'm used to. What's up with this? Like, I didn't even have to do anything.
Access granted.
Oh, and I got a nuke for later. There's not enough space in my inventory to fit the items. They'll be dropped at my feet. Oh my god, my nukes are cartridges? What? A video game cartridge. I have no idea my nukes...
Get rid of that shotgun. You don't need it.
What if I don't need this wine? Or whiskey? Or painkillers? Or Shanghai Gut Punch? What's it? Okay, Shanghai Gut Punch. Gains health. Additional health when you use it. Okay. A pinch of lotus pollen. Okay, so here's our cocktail. 3 measures, I don't know, ounces of 180 proof alcohol. That's really high. That's 90% for anyone who doesn't know. A pinch of lotus pollen, a drop of red food dye number 40. Okay. Get rid of that. I want my nuke virus software. Uh-oh. That's the noise. We heard some crazy noise. Now look what's happening. Black Mesa's blown up.
You! Help! I need help! Please! The regulator machine. The shooter is out. Causing a toxic gas leak. I tried to get to it. But I'm stuck in here. I couldn't.
Enough with the play-by-play. What do you need?
There's a valve in the next room. You have to close it.
I can either accept or decline. All right.
I'll see what I can do.
Oh, thank God. Please hurry.
Which room? This room? No, that's not a room. I got a hack to get into the room? 1 second. Just gotta hack this terminal real quick. Oh shit. Oh no. It's just, this is pretty hard to hack actually.
Access denied.
Oh. Is there another way? Oh, never mind.
Stop. Try to hit.
Oh shit. Oh, come on, you. I don't know. Yeah, okay. Heck. I just need a, there we go. Oh, no. I don't want to have to use my nuke right away. I just got it. I hardly even knew this nuke. I don't even know if this nuke... Okay. Now maybe I can use the nuke. It says fortify... So 11 says fortify the ones you've already captured. So do you want me to try fortifying first? Because this also has a detection chance if I fortify. You want me to start capturing this and fortifying this at the same time? Is that what you're suggesting? Jack Russell says, Krogan, you mentioned that we want to live free with our own, in our own land. But what if the Japan pre-Meiji scenario happened where Perry with better tech coerced the country to open?
What?
Who's Perry?
I'm not following.
So Ando says click the shield again. I'm asking, do you want me to try and fortify things before I start hacking, or do you want me to try and like simultaneously hack and fortify, right? I mean, that's the question. Well, I mean, here's the thing. Yeah, he's dead. No, he's not dead. He's actually just sitting there. Does this guy not die? I thought he would be dead. Jack Russell says Matthew Perry. As in, what if Matthew Perry opens up your country?
I'm not following still.
Ando says he guesses the same time. I can't fortify that. Oh, that one takes forever.
Access denied.
Jack Russell says Japan before Meiji had a Sakoku policy where they lived with very little foreign influence. Yeah, so they had Sakoku, and part of that was because if you wanted to have open ports and do stuff, you had to like really sort of submit yourself to the Chinese power in the region. You'd have to kowtow to the Chinese, and they, like, what was it? There was one time where the Chinese emperor was able to choose the shogun of Japan as the sort of the leader of Japan instead of the current emperor, right? Now, that shogun already had lots of power or whatever on his own, So it's not like China completely changed everything. But that's just something to note. I mean, it doesn't seem to be any consequence for failing these, is there? You can just...
I don't think so, but,
just do it however many times. I mean, the guy's... I get the guy cares, but the guy's, you know... Wonder how long that takes.
Access denied.
I mean, do you have to do this?
I don't have to. You don't want to save this guy?
I don't know that you can.
Well, I mean, he's sitting there, nodding around.
Who is this? Who is this guy?
Researcher? I don't know. Guy in a suit.
Dude, it's an NPC. I don't think there's any. I don't think he's even like story related. Like,
what if he has something good on him, like money or a snack bar?
You gonna kill him?
Oh well, you said you thought he was dead.
No, I don't care.
Well, if you don't care,
ridiculous
then
that you're trying to hack here.
Oh, that was annoying.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're not gonna make it.
Chill out. I mean, it'd be nice if. Oh, so let me try that. Because I had it once where I captured that without getting detected, and that would be nice. Nah. Give it 30 seconds. It's all good. We'll get through this together, guys. Patricia says some hearty jerky. Like beef jerky? What'd this guy drop anyway? Machine pistol ammo? And a machine pistol? I already have. Oh, well.
I assume you're gonna be wrapping things up after this.
Yeah, more or less. See if I can capture this first node free.
I don't.
Ando says fun gameplay. Well, I mean, it's sort of weird how they made this system where it's like you can just sort of spam the same shit over and over, right? Well, what if I do the nuke on this here? And do boink, boink, boink. God, that's really annoying that sometimes you just struggle with the menu. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That didn't work.
Access denied.
Well.
Just wasted your nuke.
Yeah, I did. Well, you all, everyone was bitching in the chat about me not using the nuke, and now it's gone. So no more nukes, ever. So, coming up, I'm just gonna save here.
What a good spot.
I'm gonna save here. Just save twice. So I'm probably gonna be adding a third streaming day, just for fun, coming up here soon. I'd have to look at my notes. What was my notes again? Well, I'm not sure which day. It's either gonna be Friday or Sunday. I'll be adding another streaming day. And as I was saying before, I'm gonna be doing a stream. Maybe not this weekend, but like the next upcoming weekend, where I address the idea, is technology good? And I'm going to see about maybe inviting other people to the stream to discuss the idea. Like, is technology good? Has technology made our lives better? And I'm hoping to get people, at least someone on the stream, who argues that it is good. I'm gonna argue that it's generally negative, personally. Although, like, I'm not, like, super hard on it. After all, I'm here playing video games, guys. I mean, like, obviously, it's not like I won't touch this stuff kind of deal. But I'm hoping to sort of have some different perspectives, but, you know, really try and talk it out. Is technology a good thing? Has it made our lives better? So I'm going to be having a stream about that, and I'm not exactly sure. I might see about doing that stream on my main channel, because more people notice when I do things on my main channel. And this, it wouldn't be a video game stream. It would be us discussing that issue, right? Is technology good? But anyway, I want to thank you all for showing up tonight. It was fun. I mean, you know, I know you guys didn't like those last 4 minutes. but otherwise, it was pretty good, right? Yeah, see? Even Krogan liked it. Krogan, do you think you'd want to be on the Is Technology Good stream? Yeah. I heard that Horace, you know him? Horace might be willing to come on. Maybe. I'll have to ask. And he might have a more sort of neutral or maybe positive view of technology. If anyone's curious, that's... Oh, I turned the sound all the way off. No one heard Krogan. No one heard you, Krogan. Krogan said he was smiling. Damn it. So I'm interested in addressing this topic, and the problem is, for a lot of us on the right are much more willing to be skeptical of technology, and I feel like when you look at a lot of the issues, a lot of us do come to the conclusion that, like, we're very willing to accept that there are some real downsides to technology, and a lot of times it's more the kind of the people on the what you would call the political left that are, well, some of them are pro-technology, but a lot of them are just sort of like uncritical of technology. Like, they will laugh at the idea of intellectually entertaining an argument that technology is harmful, right? They're just like not intellectually curious about this as a topic. So Patricia says, sleep tight. Thanks for screwing up his European sleep patterns. Hey, I'm sorry. Hey, do you on the weekends? Well, on Saturday I'm at 3 p.m. So that should be better for you rather than 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. What you saying, Rogan?
Oh, I was just gonna say that there's quite a bit to talk about in the technology topic. I mean, just there's a lot to talk about, and it's not really an easy, clear-cut topic. So, yeah.
And I feel like for people who are intellectually open and curious about the topic, there's a lot to dive into and think about and be intellectually engaged on. But again, for like a lot of your modern everyday person, especially your more sort of leftist, they are sort of like, on some of them, you know, they almost seem like morally opposed to the conversation even happening. I don't know if you've ever seen, I've seen clips from like leftist streamers, and they will encounter like somebody making an argument that like maybe life used to be better in the past in some aspect, and they're just like full on ridicule mode. They have no intellectual curiosity. I have various reasons why. Is there something you want to say?
I think that is the case because those people are more acutely aware that in, like, there's this whole aspect of wokeness that violates natural law, and it basically lies to the public and acts as if race, sex, and all these other primordial aspects of the human experience are fake and artificially imposed on all of us by civilization. And they act as if civilization and everything crumbled, they would be sort of like this utopia or whatever. Like, you know, like you can see this in games like Horizon Zero Dawn and other games like woke AAA games wherein civilization kind of crumbles and nobody sees race anymore and everybody is just sort of like somehow getting along. Like it's weird because obviously there's still conflict in these games, but it has nothing to do with any of those identity markers. But there's this whole aspect of wokeness that violates natural law and asserts that the real natural world functions along a completely erroneous set of parameters. I think a lot of woketivists know deep down that if they got rid of the modern world, things would be very, very bad for them. It would not go well. It would not go physiologically for them. It would not go well physiologically for them. It would probably wouldn't go socially well for them. Just on a whole list of metrics. They would not have the kind of power, sway, influence, or prestige or standing that they do now. And so I think they instinctually attack any kind of discussion about any of that because they know instinctually it would be bad for them.
Well, at the end of the day, I'm not planning to have the discussion talk much about like the left and like their pathologies. I'm planning to have a discussion where I talk really about the idea, is technology good, right? Or, you know, and some other things, but like related to the idea, the critique of technology, was life better in the past? Because, you know, when those leftists do ridicule the idea that life was once better, they do make some good points sometimes, but they generally don't make points that are like core to the argument being made in the first place, right? When someone points at the past and they say, look at the low divorce rates and stable family marriage and like population of people who could manage their own replacement rates, right? They will ignore that and they'll be like, well, look at all these people dying of polio, which is like
what do they typically state about like the general level of autonomy that individuals have over their own lives? Because that to me is the most curious thing. I mean, all of these, a lot of people today on our side talk about how there's this movement to free all these individuals from like every kind of constraint that there possibly is. That all like woketivists and leftists are all fighting this war for absolute freedom, and it's like, well, they're really not when you look at it, because they're extremely maladaptive and hostile to all kinds of ways in which people could have more autonomy. Like, they don't want people to be allowed to move out into the middle of nowhere and kind of engage in like homesteading and things like that. They don't like that general level of autonomy, and it's just kind of curious that people don't bring that up more often. You know, the further back you go, well, not necessarily really, really far back, but generally speaking, I think your average family unit, 100, 200 years ago was in many ways more free than they are today. That doesn't mean, there's a whole lot you can get into. I mean, people will say, there's a whole lot you can get into.
I mean, I would say in general, like if you were to just confine your analysis to the United States, we were probably around the most free at the Revolution and the least free now. Like it's been a steady decline. Now, if you look further back through history and over a greater area, then it's going to be like bumps and valleys and all sorts of stuff.
Just one other thing real quick. I mean, a big problem, not that we're sort of having this discussion now and I regret it, but I feel this autistic urge to just point this out. But I just think as more and more people crowd the same space, just inherently there's a sort of phenomenon that takes place whereby like not everybody can have as much freedom.
Correct.
Like, so it's just a fact of population growth and urbanization.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, urbanization has a very powerful effect on people. It's a highly novel environment. It really changes things significantly. You know, like when sometimes people would push back against the idea.
Hold on. Just think about the simplistic concept of like you're in a crowded room. If there were only, like, say the room is crowded and there's 100 people in there. Well, if there were 50 people in there, then you could swing your arms around, you could dance, you could just move freely. But when the room is crowded with 100 people, well, you can't, because everything you do is going to affect somebody else in some kind of way. So
yeah,
overcrowding necessitates less freedom. It necessitates more conformity to a particular set of standards. Like, it just does.
Yeah. Well, and when some of our guys have pushed back against, like, oh, I won't live in the pod, a lot of times they've sort of looked at the pod in a very superficial way, and they're like, I won't live in the pod, I want a big mansion. And it's like, no. Like, instead of getting that little tiny broom closet in New York City, it would be totally legitimate to live in a small one-room cottage on your 5 acres, right? Like,
yeah,
I would like for myself, I think it would be good for a lot of our guys to live in a small living space on your own property where it belongs to you, and you don't have maybe a huge place to live, but whatever you want to put on the wall, if you want to put a hole in the wall, you know, you want to nail a picture up, it's your wall.
Well, you don't
and
have
you
a
get
giant
to decide.
house. You don't have a giant house just for the sake of having a giant house. I mean, there's a certain like you know, like, I'm not against the idea of living in, if you're single, or even if you have a small family, like, I'm not against the idea of living in a small, really efficient household unit. That's not really the problem. The problem is, you know, like, much more, it's much larger than that. You can kind of see how people, like, we all get sort of autistic about it, and you know, we'll assert, well, the problem is the physicality of the issue, you know, like, or like the physicalness of the issue. Like, it really is the smallness of the pod. And it's like, well, no, not really. Like, it's not really about the pod.
If you had a 1,000-square-foot apartment owned by BlackRock, and they decide what pictures are going to be on your wall because they've had some study about something, and they decide what color the paint's going to be, and they decide how you're going to live with it, but you could downgrade to a 500-square-foot where you get to live how you want to live, I'd rather generally have you get the choice.
Well, you know, think of it like this. I mean, a lot of us are into space exploration. I mean, how many of us who are into that would scoff at the idea of us living in bunk beds in a communal setting on, you know, a rocket going out into the depths of space somewhere or whatever? Like, I mean, like, a lot of us wouldn't be like, no, we can't do that, my freedom, you know what I mean? Like, we would be willing to make sacrifices because of the gains we would get there. It's just like, you know, the pod living, I mean, that's sort of the funny juxtaposition of, like, multiculturalist, you know, utopia, space exploration, you know, like, we've talked about this before. Like, we're not going to space, we're going to be living in pods in, like, multicultural, multiracial favelas.
Yeah.
And you know, you're not getting anything for your sacrifice. I mean, you're losing, and you're losing, and you're losing. And, you know, if we were, you know, I'd be willing to live in a quote unquote pod if it were like an ethno state on its way to Mars or something, you know, like,
yeah. So Riley says Riley says that they started playing the original Deus Ex. The politics in that game would make an interesting series as well. I thought so, and I was looking at that, but I started playing it a little bit, and I was like, well, I'll try the newer one because I already owned it. Patricia says he's a part-time blacksmith. It's harder, but better, more fulfilling. Pounding a chunk of metal for 5 hours straight might be demanding and basically destroy your body's musculature over time by making it very one-sided, like your hammering arm. It is infinitely more rewarding for most people than doing Excel calculus on PC. Oh god,
I bet.
Staring at Excel sheets all day, it is like, well, one, it hurts your eyeballs. Let's see. Levin says, technology may be some help with that. I'm not sure what that is. You can work from distance and don't need to move to the city for job opportunities. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. That being said, I'm not always the biggest fan of work from home stuff and the sort of weird, sort of
Kaczynski
isolated nature that brings.
Yeah, Kaczynski and some other people have like addressed a lot of this, and I won't hash it out right now. But it's like that's a trade-off. Like you're creating a solution to a problem that technology itself has created.
Right.
So,
Riley says he's a he. Well, good to see you, Riley. How's it going, brother? Tomato Way says hello, everyone. Hello, Tomato Way. It's good to see you. This is about the end of the stream. Tomato said he played Deus Ex, the original. It was hard, but it was cool. Now, Patricia says he hates the tiny homes movement. Now, one second. He says the tiny homes movement was uprooting people. Living in a small house, one can self-repair is okay, though. Yeah, I mean, there's like... Not every tiny house was on wheels, right? But tiny homes that enabled self-ownership, like a lot of the people who got tiny homes went from something they rented and they didn't own, and they didn't decide what color the walls were, and they didn't get to hang up their pictures the way they wanted, and the tiny home was something that they really did own. I think that's an improvement in some way.
I think a lot of us hate the tiny homes movement because what it essentially represents, because a lot of popular outlets promote it, and the reason why they promote it is it's like, and how we essentially see it as a downgrading of the American life, because economically everything's getting really bad, and it's getting bad because, you know, there's just this endless wave of immigrants creating this endless surplus of labor. There's all kinds of economic downturns at play. And the tiny homes movement is sort of like this cope by the establishment. Like, oh, I know things are getting financially terrible for you all, but look at this wonderful solution. And it's cool. You know, like you don't need your single family home anymore. You know what I mean? Like you don't need any of that stuff anymore. You can live in a box. And now I'm being hyperbolic here. But I think that's why a lot of us sort of resent it, because it's the establishment sort of like trying to wrap a turd in silk or something, you know, like again, it's not the concept of living in any of these types of homes, really. It's sort of painting, you know, our own decline to be a positive thing, and I think that's how some people. I guess you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, okay. All right, I'll stop.
I think that's about it for that. Spencer says he knows someone in our circles who wanted to live on the ocean in an aircraft carrier turned into a living space that could be mobile. It's a neat concept. Aircraft carrier would be incredibly expensive to maintain. Your community on the aircraft carrier would have to be, like, economically speaking, hyper productive to maintain it. I mean, there's a reason the only one who owns aircraft carriers are nations, or governments. You'd probably be much better off on a decommissioned oil rig, and then just going to and from it on boats,
or a cargo ship,
if it's small enough. But I mean, like, moving ships with propellers is not efficient unless you are hauling valuable cargo highly efficiently, like cargo ships, because cargo ships maintain, like, both cargo ships and aircraft carriers are incredibly expensive. One is paid for with taxes, and the other is like an economic venture with a date where they scrap the ship, right, after like 30 years.
It's like where are you going to be moving that? Right. Like, why would a community like that be moving that frequently? So yeah. I don't know.
Neat idea. Get something to think about, right? Daydream about it. Rubadub says, i.e., I liked when you brought up the point about the futility of creativity as a strength if the creation/technology gets given to everyone instead of benefiting just those who made it. Oh, you mean my video Like, should you feel pride in our ancestors? Is that what you were thinking? Tomato Way says, God bless you. Thank you, Tomato Way. Appreciate it. Riley Smith says, I saw some video on container homes by an Indian woman explaining all the problems with them. It's just not worth it. Yeah, the container homes, that's very much kind of a meme, right? That's partly playing on like this desire to pull stuff out of the trash stream, right? It's like, this is going to be this container is going to be thrown away. Can't we make something good out of it, right? And there's like a lot of people who care about that, and I understand that, and I've looked significantly at the idea of repurposing trash streams and blah blah blah. Go ahead.
The way to solve all of that is the end of globalism. You stop shipping all this material around the world that you don't need to.
Yeah,
I mean, because half the stuff that's shipped around the world. Well, I'm not trying to drag this stream on, so yeah, I'll shut up.
Yeah, I think we all get it though, right? Localism. I mean, imagine if you just like historically humans ate what was available locally. Like, you can have an adequate human diet. You can have adequate furniture, you can have this and that. No, you might not always get the fanciest champagne and cheese and all the other little nonsense from all around the world, but like, you could live locally. Riley says it's for recycling. The major problem is that used containers don't make good homes, right? And I agree. Yeah. Okay, well, let's not drag this out forever. Coming up on Saturday, 3 p.m., I'll be playing something. So 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll be streaming again on Saturday. And then I'm going to be adding a third day of streaming. And I'm going to be figuring that out tonight. I'll announce it on Twitter. I'm either going to be streaming on Fridays or Sundays, in addition, moving forward. Okay. Have a good night, everybody. Peace out. Good night, Krogan.
Good night.
Peace.